Hello, hello, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. And yet again, this week we are
What? Oh, it's
powerless.
right, yeah, yeah.
Come on, man, that's our thing.
How could I forget?
Tell them what we're going to be reviewing.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Powerless.
yeah. I mean, we are powerless, and we're going to be reviewing Powerless. So this is episode 3, entitled Sinking Day. I'm going to come out and say it. This, I mean, this has got to be the best episode of the series so
Yes, it
far,
does.
right? So you agree it's getting better?
I agree. This episode is better. Yeah.
It's a solid episode. It was kind of really good in that.
Let's not go too far.
Nah, but
It was pretty good. I'll give. Yeah, it was alright. It was an improvement.
yeah, but it's kind of, you got to look at it like, okay, like you didn't expect this episode, like this next episode, knowing nothing about it, to be any better than the other two. But for the fact it's better, kind of means there's kind of an up curve. So maybe next week it's going to be better than this one,
Yeah,
and
or
then
maybe next week will be an absolute piece of crap again.
yeah, it's kind of turning it around.
It's
I
one
mean,
good episode. Let's not get carried away.
I'm pleased because that's what I wanted, didn't I? That's what I was saying in
Well, you
all.
wanted a good episode. I think everyone was a good episode.
No, I wanted other people to think it was good and that, because I already thought it was good, didn't I? I've said all
Well,
the way through I think it's good.
you're,
I've
ab-
enjoyed
you're,
it.
you're absolutely delusional.
Right. So this, I mean, it was funny, right? I mean, even the first little bit where um they're kind of, I mean, straight off the bat I knew it was going to be a good episode, because they're all standing together and they're talking about how they don't really listen to each other, and how that guy's like from Atlantis, and they're like, Atlantis, I thought he was from Atlanta. Stuff like that was good. I mean, the kind of, even off the first like couple seconds, it was like that quick fire joke, and then straight into the credits on with the episode. So I'll even say I didn't really find Van Wayne that irritating.
He was by far the funniest thing in the episode.
Um,
By far.
yeah, I kind of liked his character arc, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I'll admit, yeah, he was quite funny. One, it hasn't been. Is my opinion of him's changed, because the past two episodes I've been like dead on that the fact he was the wackest character. But
He
I
was
think
absolutely the best. I mean, who else could have been better than this episode? The
uh,
the gag about with Ron, I finally learned his name. Ron, Abed from Community, I haven't learned his name yet. And the guy who might be a superhero or might not be. That was okay, but it was nowhere near as funny as the A story with Van, which was definitely. I thought the funniest thing was probably the fact that they referenced something that was bugging the crap out of me in the previous 2 weeks, which was that Emily, is it? Is that the lead?
yeah.
Keeps banging on about her dad and never her mum, and he brought it up twice, and that was funny.
It- in what way was it funny?
Well, first there was, I forget the first one, was how you keep on banging on about your dad, and he cracked the joke, and I can't remember what it was, but the second one was funny when he was talking about, did you drive your mum to suicide?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That, I'll admit, that was good. So basically, the premise of the episode is that
Ace chemicals are
yeah,
coming in to, they want some sort of new thing, and that fails,
to put
and
over the vat of acid, because like every week or so there's a new like clown
right,
based villain, because they keep falling into kind of the vat of chemicals.
so they
So
lose the Kane contract, and so Van wants to get a new one in place, and that's when the Atlantis people come in, right? So that's the plot. He needs to get a big contract with the Atlantis crew, and his dad kind of stands in his way.
yeah, so yeah, instead of like a wire mesh, they want a force field. So like Van stuffs it up, and then they lose the contract. The dad comes in and is like, "Oh, you're whack, you're whack." So he decides, "Oh no, we're gonna get another contract." So they decide, because of the at the start there's like the sinking of Atlantis and stuff like that. Like Black Manta's like blew up the city or whatever. So they decide to kind of get a contract to do whatever kind of for Atlantis. So they bring in like people in, and then like Emily's kind of cutting the deal, and then Van just jumps in and is like, "Oh yeah, we're throwing a party for Sinking Day because that's like the big festival coming up." It's not really explained what the festival kind of celebrates, because when he started saying it and the people were looking at him funny, I was like, "Is Sinking Day like not something to be celebrated or something?" But it turns out it is, and it's like, "Yeah, we got Aquaman coming to the party," so like somehow he manages to blag that, and kind of he gets the Atlanteans to the party, and they're like gassed off the party, and she's like, "Oh, we've got Tuna," and they're going on about how like the Tuna's like great friends of theirs, and obviously they're expecting like, you know, actual tuna like people or whatever, or the like fish, but obviously it's like they've minced it up. So it's like, yo, let's not show them that. So yeah, then he kind of gets the people gifts and stuff like that. Gets them on board, and then the dad swans in to try and take the contract. But then in the end, Van ends up fixing it. It kind of annoyed me in that, how like, oh yeah, you got to go make calls and stuff like that, and then he's kind of sitting in his office like writing like the worst song ever.
Oh yeah, it's the Office thing, isn't it? You know, David Brent or whatever the American version was. That's kind of his job. He's the guy that's in charge, but he's an absolute doofus.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be funny. It was funny this week.
Mm-hmm. Which is good. I mean, if all episodes are like this, it kind of comes up. So in the end, he gets a contract, blah blah blah, and then they're kind of all together. I think now the team's gelling together, because
that's where I might disagree though. But go on, say it.
Because basically the first 1.5 episodes was basically they were like dead against Emily, but now kind of they seem to be more friendly towards her now, so there's not that animosity. Obviously Emily's going around running around doing her stuff, so she's kind of disjointed from the team. Obviously you got Arkbed, Ron, and like the assistant is like, what's the assistant like supposed to be doing in that? Because I mean, it's kind of funny in that, because she's always like running around like doing random stuff and that, instead of like being an assistant. Because you never really, I mean, yeah, you've seen her like once or twice like with Van doing stuff with him, but really she just wanders all around the office and like.
Well, yeah, but that's part. I could be giving the show too much credit here, but that might be part of the gag. There is something to assist, because Van doesn't do anything.
So I mean, yeah, that's kind of the consensus. So you got Arkbed, Ron.
Is his name really Arkbed?
No, you know the guy from Community you keep talking about.
Arbed.
Oh yeah, Arbed. So you got them trying to figure out if this guy's a superhero and that, like installing cameras in the toilets and stuff like that. And then like, even, do you know there's like the other girl with the kind of frizzy red hair, like dumpy looking girl, is like, she pops up like every episode and does like something like interesting and that. I've kind of like, yeah, because she like twats the guy with the chair at like the end, and she's like, there, see, he ain't at what Olympian or whatever, it's not the Olympian or whatever, she just dashes a chair at the back of his head. I thought that was good. It's like she pops up like every so often, and generally she's kind of funny, even though she's kind of like,
I don't think she is. See, that's what I mean. I'm not sure they have worked out, still got a team dynamic. I think Van and Emily are bonding well together. I think Ron and Arbed have got their thing, yeah. I know his name's not Abed, but I still can't remember what it is, so I'm calling him Abed.
Just call it, because I was like on Reddit and stuff like that, and they always like just call him Abed.
Alright then. Well, you know, they kind of got their little group as a whole unit. I'm still not feeling it.
I think they're kind of warming to her more, so generally as it goes on, because it is kind of early days and that, and they kind of, I guess the past 2 episodes have kind of been disjointed. I guess like it's kind of moved from them not liking her to them kind of, you know, like right at the start of the episode you kind of get the impression that they're kind of all kind of buddies and stuff like that, and they're kind of getting like that little bit of a friendship going. So I mean, I think that works better for the show, because then you can have like Arbed and Ron like literally going about like messing, doing like other random stuff, and she won't like go off at them and stuff like that.
I think Arbed and Ron are fine. But the other, there's three of them, isn't there? There's them two, and there's another woman who was that who you were talking about earlier?
The kind of one with the other scientist girl with the
Yeah,
kind of frizzy hair, dumpy girl. Yeah,
she's lame.
you don't like her, no?
No,
I think she kind of pops up and does like one good thing in an episode, and so she either says something funny or she does something funny. And in this case, she smacked the guy they thought Olympian was round the back of the head with a chair and was like, "There, see, he ain't."
anyone could have done that. Like you said, it's early days. They can still find a place for her on the show, but so far to me, she just kind of seemed in the way.
Okay. I kind of it's kind of interesting because they're bringing in like different kind of stuff, like bringing out like kind of the Ron or whatever's like actually an Atlantean and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, can you believe? I can't believe you guys are from the same place." And it's like, "Yeah, because they're all mopey and I'm so upbeat and stuff like that." that kind of made me laugh. Yeah, it's like kind of funny in that. You know what
Why
I
is
mean?
it funny? Why can't they be from the same place?
Yeah,
It's America.
yeah, but come on.
Black and white people are from the same place all the time.
Yeah, but it's
We're
just
in
like
England. I can go outside and find stuff. A black person. They're
yeah, but
not. They're not quacky, weird people you'll never meet.
yeah, but
Yeah, but what? It's so stupid.
the joke was that they're kind of mopey and serious and is so upbeat and stuff
No,
like that.
no. The joke
Yeah,
is
yeah,
she's
yeah,
black and they're blonde white people. Why
yeah,
can't they
but
be from the same place?
is I don't know.
Stupid.
I mean, okay, pick like apart from Black Manta, who's not actually like Atlantean.
Yeah, and you got that new black aqua lad. I forget his name. Gar. No, that's the old one. But why can't there be black people from Atlantis? No one. Jason Momoa's going to be bloody Aquaman.
Yeah, but it's Polynesian.
Yeah, but he's not white, is he?
Yeah, but whatever. Like, forget
Well,
that
there you
joke
go.
because you're getting upset.
I
I
it's
just.
not just that. It's the entire show.
Well, okay. Name some good things then.
Name some good things. All right. There was a gag at the beginning of Van's expense when the guy they thought might have been the Olympian was calling Abed boss, and they talked about how that's really a condescending thing you have said to someone with no respect for, or something along that lines, and then said the same thing to Van. That was pretty funny. I thought Van's relationship with his dad was okay. That was pretty cool. Corbin Bernsen from LA Law. That was funnier. He was a better guest star than the guy from last week. Again, like I said, the mocking of Emily's thing with her dad and constantly bringing him up, that was funny. So there were improvements. It was a better episode, but still some of the jokes aren't hitting. If you're going to do race jokes, make them good.
I think what it kind of is in that is like, kind of like, do you know like Scrubs? You know JD and that other guy with the frizzy hair. I forget what his name is. It's kind of like that, except
Yeah.
like she's looking at Van as someone who can like teach her and that be a mentor and stuff like that. But it's just like, I mean, it's kind of like the JD and Dr. Cox thing, except if Dr. Cox was like a moron, you know what I mean?
That's not as funny.
What? So you want Van Wayne to be serious?
Not what I'm saying at all, but if you're going to do that dynamic, it's funnier if he is smarter.
I think literally, like, I mean, this episode it kind of fixed a couple things, and that's what made it funny. So I think maybe like the next few episodes are going to kind of go that way as well, because I think they don't really know what they're going for at the minute, and they're kind of all like all over the place. So they kind of need to come like cohesively and kind of fix some of the issues of the show through that. And I mean, the fact that this was a better episode and it didn't really need to do much to be a better episode kind of makes me think it's kind of in an up curve at the minute. So maybe the next few episodes, I mean, is kind of all hangs on next week's episode, because I mean, if next week's episode's a bummer, then it's going to kind of throw it off a bit, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, like you said, it was funnier. It was an upswing, but it's so scattergun. Like, what are you going for? What are you joking about? You got the race jokes, so it's like, I don't have a problem with race jokes. Just make them funny. You've got the Trump jokes or politics. Okay, makes no sense in a comic book thing, but if you're going to do it and don't do everything else. Or you got the jokes they went for with Van.
Maybe they were kind of referring to Lex Luthor in that one, but it just happens to relate to. They've kind of made Lex Luthor,
It's Trump.
president-elect, refer a lot to Trump.
But the joke is not about Lex Luthor, it's about Trump, is it? And that,
For them it is, but for
yes,
us,
yes, but the audience watching it aren't going to think of Lex Luthor. They know it's a joke about Donald Trump, which is fine. But like I said, go for what you're going for. Don't do all this crap. It's too much.
I think you need a couple more good episodes to convince you this is solid. But I mean, my faith's kind of restored in it. It's like it's good that this has kind of happened now, because if it took like another 2 or 3 episodes, I think that's going to turn people off. But I mean, if reviews are coming in now that this episode was strong, then is probably going to convince more people to give it a go, because I guess I'd figure a lot of people kind of switched off after last week. So I mean, it's kind of would have been disappointing for them to have switched off and not given it at least a 3 episode run, because that's kind of what you got to do. It kind of, with any new show and that, you got to give it like at least 3 episodes in that, because even if the first episode's medium, the second episode's not good, if it upswings in the third episode, then it's kind of all to play for. So anything else you'd like to discuss?
Nope.
Let's talk numbers.
I'm going to give it a 6.
See, that's a nice little upturn, because you gave it a 3 last time, if I do remember. I'm gonna stick with my. I'm gonna give it a solid 7.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good improvement. I mean, watching it, I mean, as I was watching it, I was thinking that this episode is strong, and it's gonna turn a lot of people on to the show. You know, get them a little more excited into it, and you know, I mean, I knew as soon as I asked you and that what you thought of it, that you were going to say, yeah, it was better, because it's like, how could you not?
I couldn't get any worse, could it, really?
Dude, come on. You want to
After
bet?
last week.
This is NBC we're talking about. So,
Oh,
yeah.
don't mind me. They used to do great comedy and I was stuck with this crap.
So, yeah.
But maybe it'll get better.
Looking forward to next week. I think it's going to be another solid one. I think it kind of depends what the topic is in that. Because maybe if the kind of topic of the episode is kind of solid, then I guess you can get more out of it. Because I mean, what was it last week? It was a kind of internet thing and stuff like that, and that was kind of a bit kind of jumbled up in that. But now this was kind of like a solid kind of topic. I think they were able to work with it better. So, you know, maybe all these next ones are going to be good, so I'm hopeful. I said last week this one's going to be solid. It was all kind of on this week, because if this episode wasn't so good, then I'd probably be a bit like, oh, you know, this is going to definitely be cancelled. But as long as it upswings, picks up, it could be like a big U-turn, really. It could turn out to be a fantastic show, and all the naysayers will be eating their words. So we'll have to see what happens next week, but I'm quietly confident. This is a Superhero Hub. I'm Sam.
Matt.
Thanks for watching.